Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat on Metro Television, coming to you live from the Ikwa Wahima studio here at North Ridge in Accra. My name is Ifwa, and coming up in the next 60 minutes. City slump, high cost of doing business, and other factors forced Ghana Union of Traders Association to announce the closure of shops in Accra as businesses on the brink of collapse. President Akufo-Addo faced by threats of voting out his party in 2024, comments that have generated widespread controversy in the last 24 hours. Plus, the UK Prime Minister Liz Truss insists she will lead the Tories into the next general election despite U-turns, leaving her battling to salvage her authority. Details coming up shortly. My colleague Kenneth JC is attending the press conference by the Ghana Union of Traders Association, and he has this for us. Union of Traders Association is holding a news conference ahead of tomorrow's closure of shops. My colleague Kenneth JC is attending that press conference here in Accra, and he has this for us. He will be joining us briefly to tell us what is happening there. We understand that the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association will be addressing the press to tell us ahead what is going to happen tomorrow, if they're still going to go ahead and close all shops or otherwise. So my colleague Kenneth JC is there, and he has this for us.
What exactly they are doing here? Doc, welcome to Metro TV.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you may be aware, about 2 months ago, we wanted to undertake a demonstration by closure of shops. At that time, the dollar was 10 cedis. When the dollar reached 10 cedis, it became so scary. We were all very afraid of what is to come because we were still waiting for the Christmas sales. So everybody was panicked. In that regard, we wanted to show our frustration and our level of suffering to the government for them to fast-track whatever effort they are doing to solve our problems for us. But the Council of State, out of its good counsel, intervened. And then we have to respect them because we have good rapport with them. They have been helping us all the time. And they are the leaders of this country, the elderly people of this country. We give them, but we all know also that we're supposed to run up every committee meeting that we have with them under 1 month. Right. And now 2 months on, the problem have not been solved. The challenges that we went through, the committee meetings itself, because our inability to get officialdom even to come to the meetings and all that have resulted to the point that most of our points or solutions that we preferred have not been even adopted for use. And now we can see that the exchange have risen up to 13 Ghana cedis per dollar, which is very difficult because we started the year with 6.2 and now we are at 30. It means that every trader, any business community have lost 50% of its capital. Whilst exchange rate is doing this to us, the interest rate is also taken from the left. Started the year with 22%, now we are at 38%. We cannot take it any longer. It is too much, and then we want to give a pinch to the government to know our plight, and that's the reason why we are here. So we are here to run up our meeting with the Council of State and thereafter make any declaration that we want to make. And we are doing this to help the Ghanaian consuming populace itself, for them also to appreciate the fact that we are not deliberately hiking prices. Never. We want them to understand that. And we want our suppliers, our foreign creditors who give us suppliers credit also to know that once we are not able to pay our debts to them, it's because we have a crisis at hand in our country. And then to the government to also give them a pinch to wake up and then be doing to make sure that we stabilize the currency and bring down inflation to considerable level to help all Ghanaians. Yeah.
Quickly, what can the Council of State tell you today to make you rescind your decision and closing your shops tomorrow?
No, fortunately for us, it was good that we listened to Council of State. Then they got the opportunity to work with us. We said so many things, and then their own frustration of getting through these concerns, then they will appreciate that we've done well. Thank you so much.
Still on the closure of shop, my colleague Elvis Andor is at the Makola Market and joins us now. Elvis, what is happening out there?
On the fact that the cedi is depreciating against the dollar, and that has been a worry to them because they are not able to make much profit on their business. I'm here with a trader here in Makola who tells me she will be joining the closing down of her shop and other shops that she has because she's not happy, and that is what she will do to register her displeasure to government. You're welcome to Metro News. Share with us why you would join the closing of the shops by Guta.
Yes, I would be happy if they close the shop because I feel like now things have become expensive and it is making it very uncomfortable for we, the traders, and even the buyers to also purchase items. So I would be happy because it will help us for the sales to go on very well.
You are talking about sales to go on. For how long have you been here and how much sales have you made today so far?
So far, if I should tell you the sales we have made, it's nothing to bring home about. Because since morning we have been here and then it's not appreciated. We can't talk about it. It's nothing to write, to take home. So I would be happy if the government do something about it and then reduce the items for people to also be able to purchase.
The major concern of the people has to do with the dollar, how fast the dollar is rising and how diminishing the cedi is going down. Tell us, are you affected by it? And if you're affected, how are you affected?
Yes, we are being affected because the cedi, since the very first time the dollar increased, it has made it very difficult because sometimes, imagine relaxers, some are at first 28, but now we are selling it 45 cedis, which is making it also something that we are losing. So I would be happy if they could just reduce the cedi or the dollar for us so that we can purchase items.
Are you happy with how the government has been able to, let me use the word, arrest the dollar, as they have earlier indicated that the government would be able to arrest the dollar and the cedi will be equivalent to this dollar? Are you happy with government's operation around it, or you are disappointed so far?
No, I'm happy. I'm happy because if they are able to just reduce the dollar for the cedis to become equal, it will help us. So I'm happy with the decisions. Okay.
Okay, so let me move to another person here who is also a trader here. Obe joining a year demonstration, no say mre nitsua. Obe joining.
Me joining.
E dey inti na obe joining.
Because I feel new boy ding. I dey first get on 15 cedis, 35 cedis. Nti ebi mo ba na meto ade o kan na mo asem mo chia mo se no boy ding.
Bebre na ka se eye me kan se nya mu initial capital a mo di hye ejuma ni mu no mu nse nya e na mo profit kra mo be nya no kra mpo no se mo san kwa akofa nyema ni ebiom a enso eyampa
because ne ukotu nkuna am be mo 50 cedis enyumre so ukotu nkuna e be mo different price 70 cedis nti o ba mpo unim ahia ado beto so na waton ade no ton untumi nya usika beton no obi ba na ka 70 cedis on to be ka say anapa meto ade say na nwumbre maba si a mabeto ade 50 cedis nwumbre maba 70 cedis de onto na okọ.
Yeah, a damn potting I am at the tone for no, and I'm more about better. A damn potting I am catch him.
I'm say sometimes I'm catch us yeah mum na like ye increasing your money dodo. Na catch am say yes because they go to makeup say nwumbre be kọ na atum so ba anya say so so pe mfa so nti na oton ade so so tum. Na ya tum.
So all that she just said is that what she put into her business does not even allow her to make much money as expected, because once she gets closer to where she has been buying her things from, the next moment it has been increased, and the buyers complain about it a lot. This is the complaint, and these are the reasons these two ladies beside me would join the demonstration on Wednesday should Guta push through with its plan. Reporting for Metro News, Elvis Ando, Makola, Accra.
Elvis Ando there at the Makola Market. Let's stay a while longer on this. Mercy Nijan is the Queen Mother of the Greater Accra Regional Market Women Association. She joins us on the phone now. Good afternoon to you. Are all shops at Makola going to be closed tomorrow?
Thank you. Good afternoon. I think you just gave me the information about the close-up of the markets tomorrow. The people haven't had any discussion with us, so we just don't know what is happening. And I haven't discussed anything with my market people, so I don't think shops at Makola will be closing tomorrow.
But you're aware tomorrow Guta is going ahead to close all shops with regards to the high taxes?
Well, they haven't had any discussion with us as an association. So I have also not told anything to my members. So I don't know whether they will be closing the shops, but the market will not be closing because we haven't had any discussion beforehand.
Right. But Madam Nijan, share with us some of the challenges you face as a market woman.
About?
With regards to the high taxes.
I think the markets, most of the time, we don't import. We buy and sell. So our problem is if we go to the shops and the products are high, we also have to increase our prices. But other than that, I don't think we have the authority to control the prices.
But you have customers come in and complain that prices are too high.
When the customers come, they complain to us because we meet them directly.
Right.
But what I'm saying is we don't have control over the pricing because we go to the shops, buy and come and sell. So when we get to the shop and they have increased the price, they will tell you it's because of the dollar, it's because of this, it's because of that. So immediately they increase. We also have to come back and put something later on for our daily bread because you can't control the price.
Right. Thank you very much. Madam Mercy Nijan is the Queen Mother of the Greater Accra Regional Market Women Association. Moving on, President Akufo-Addo says he is unfazed by threats by some constituents of Kwabre East demanding better roads to vote out the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 election. When quizzed during an interview on Utek FM in Kumasi, the president said such threats do not frighten him.
You do it. I'm saying, people make those kind of threats. Me, they don't frighten me. Okay. Somebody votes for you, somebody supports you. It's because they want you to do things for them. I understand that. There's no need for people to go to my say. I don't want to watch them. Of course, mayor. About to decide to my NDC. I watch them. I don't know myself. Obi and so and fa in teams baby and they the important thing is that we have a responsibility. I understand the responsibility and we will deal with it.
Now, the comments by the president has generated a lot of controversies, with some accusing the president of being insensitive to the plight of his people. Let's speak to government spokesperson on governance and security, Palgrave Boakye Dankwa. Good afternoon to you. Hello, Palgrave. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon to you, and a very good afternoon to your listeners and viewers on social media.
Was the president calling the people's bluff?
Not at all. I do not think that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, was calling the people's bluff. I follow social media commentary, and even earlier on this morning, I was on one of the networks as well, and I discounted all those assertions that people were trying to juxtapose to the very good intent of the president as it relates to his visit into the Ashanti region. Now, you would realize that the president did state that, yes, of a truth, development is very holistic. And as much as we desire to develop on a value chain and ensure that it impacts everyone, it's a process where certain communities might not have their development happening at the very moment where the president is there. But it does not mean that those people's desires and needs will be neglected as far as and as long as our government is in power. So I'd like to reassure the people of Kwabre that, yes, the president did not intend to state that you can desire to vote for another political party or not, but really for him to be able to let you know that, yes, I mean, your concerns are very well known to him, but in the midst of that, he's making sure that he's meeting the entire needs of the Ghanaian people. And when it does get
to you, do you think that he would have had the same posture and tone if this was 2016?
You see, the conversations really of comparison of 2016, of 2020, of 2022, I do not think that is neither here nor there. I mean, the president, definitely wherever the president does speak, becomes news for everyone to be able to put into it. And I'm letting you know very clearly that you are aware that on every electioneering year, we do not force people to go and vote for MPP or NDC yourself. There's never been a day where I have either come to you and said that, my friend, let's go and vote for the MPP political party. Anyone who goes to vote votes on their own willingness. And so that is the juxtaposition of the president to be able to state that, yes, I mean, if you want to vote for a political party, he's not going to deny you that right for you to vote for that political party. But I've always stated that you imagine a family where one young lady or the daughter of a man is going to marry from a certain family, and the man is saying that this family, I'm aware of that family, I know how they are, and so I do not want you to go and marry from that family. That's clearly what the president was saying, that he's very much aware of the NDC government. The Ghanaian people have seen how deplorable they were when they had an opportunity to lead government, and so if you want to go and vote for the NDC government party, you can go and vote for the NDC party, but then the entire Ghanaian people would not be following that toll of line to be voting for the NDC government. And you also should be aware that much as the Ashanti region is our stronghold, not every single person within the Ashanti region votes for the MPP government. I mean, there are persons within the Ashanti region who will vote for the NDC government. There are persons within the Ashanti region that will vote for PCC, CPP, and the likes. And so the president's statement must really not be taken out of context.
Right. And do you think that the comments have muddied the waters in Kwabre East?
Well, that is why we are having these conversations to make sure that the people of Kwabre East understand that the president is not intending to say that they can vote for another political party. I mean, like I stated, I mean, I'm on your network now on Metro TV. I was on TV3 this morning. I brought clarification and context to it. I was on Woon2Me also to be able to speak to the Ghanaian people in Kwabre East for them to be able to contextualize it. And there's peace in Kwabre East. I mean, the constituency is very peaceful. They are very excited to see that the president is going to be coming into their constituency and their domain to make sure that whatever deplorable states within which their infrastructure or roads are, we are going to be attending to it.
Palgrave, do you think breaking the 8 is possible for the MPP?
You know, there is no political party that does not want to win power. Even the NDC, which is in opposition, wants to win power. In the 2016 general election, they wanted to win power when they were government in power. And then in the 2020 election, they wanted to win power when they were in opposition. And so every single political party desires to win power. And we believe that, I mean, over the past, especially for the Fourth Republic from 1992 up until date, every political party, the MPP and the NDC, have had equal share of leadership. And so it bewilds on the Ghanaian people to decide who they will vote for when we go into the 2024 general election. And for me, as an MPP person and a government spokesperson on governance and security, as a government official, I do state that we will try our best to be able to break the 8, and we'll make sure that we meet the plight of the Ghanaian people, so the Ghanaian people can remember when they go to the electioneering poll on the 7th of December 2024 to vote for the MPP government to be sworn into office on the 7th of January 2025.
Thank you very much indeed. Government spokesperson on governance and security, Palvi Boakye Dankwa. Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School, Professor John Gachi, has questioned President Akufo-Addo's ability to measure the records of his government after damning verdict by rating agencies. According to him, the president cannot create his own marking scheme after ratings agencies downgraded Ghana.
What the people of Ghana are expecting the president to do is that the spending of this country has not been done in a prudent manner. It has landed us into difficulty. We want that situation to be resolved. We don't want to wake up every day while fuel prices are going up. The president keeps reminding us that the problem is from Ukraine and Russia, when just last week, Russian 10 investors from Ukraine were in Ghana to invest in Ghana. So when you speak to Ghanaians in this way, it's as if you are insulting them. And they don't believe whatever you are saying. So that is what I believe we need to focus on now. We have our inflation around 37, begging to get to 40% because of the pass-through effect of development and fuel price development in the country.
Okay.
So those are the issues confronting us. We want to see the president resolving those problems.
Okay.
The technical advisor at the Office of the Vice President, Tia Abdul Kabir Muhammad, says the president call not to fire his appointees is a good one, adding that economic turmoil is not peculiar to Ghana.
I cannot sit down here as a government employee trying to justify that, look, Ghanaians should bear with the 34 to 40% inflation we are having, because we've not gotten to the era of 122% of inflation yet. It is not justifiable. It is, by any stretch of imagination, I cannot. It will be very insensitive to the Ghanaian public. But when people want to do politics with it, it is incumbent on us to explain that, look, it is a difficult time. But when you want to go on that particular route and you want to blame everything on government and you want to present yourself as the alternative or the best solution this country will have, I think it is also important we explain this. Inflation is driven by fuel prices. Fuel prices is driven by global demand and supply situation. It is not just here. You mean when you were reading from the UK, and people are taking the UK, their plan of fiscal will also fail them, and IMF has to even comment on it because they are facing the same, energy prices hikes because they are also important.
And legal team member of the National Democratic Congress, Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, says Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia's priority is not to fix the economy, but to be the flag bearer for his political party.
Bawumia said, look, how come that it is only Ghana that this thing is affecting? How come that it is not affecting Ivory Coast? Where were you when your boss said that? If he was wrong, let him apologize for the wrong reference. You cannot now today come and lecture us on what the way forward will be. And that is why I have made a point that this morning, every businessman who is hearing you, there's no hope. And you see, what is even making the whole problem even more dangerous is that, look, the two principal architects of our current misfortune, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and Ken Ofori-Atta, where are they? Bawumia, in the midst of economic crisis, emergency situation, he's in the north canvassing for votes to become MPP flag bearer. That is what matters to him.
Is that what he told you?
That is what he's doing. In fact, I have read and seen and heard audio recordings of his conversation with people in the north and telling some of them that he had been doing the dirty job. Oh. Yes. I didn't know that the position of vice president is for a dirty job. Yes.
It's his voice.
Yes. I mean, nobody can doubt it.
You can prove that. That's his
Please.
voice.
please, I won't come and say anything on this platform.
Oh, of course. I mean,
yes.
You can look at 3 facts of the World Cup. Now, 3 facts of the World Cup. 2002 World Cup was the first held in Asia. Second fact, FIFA's executive committee chooses host country. Third, Brazil has won the World Cup 5 times. Welcome back. Good to have you with us. The minority in Parliament has served notice it will reject some 4 Supreme Court judge nominees put forward by President Akufo-Addo. According to Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak, some of these 4 judges are known members of the governing NPP, hence their stance. He also argued that President Akufo-Addo's move to nominate over 14 judges on the Supreme Court could undermine justice delivery, adding he is the president to nominate the most Supreme Court judges.
Need additional judges. Since the Fourth Republic, we have no president has gone beyond 14 members on the bench. We checked and realized that we currently have 14 on the bench. It is not an easy thing to maintain a Supreme Court judge because remember they retire on their condition of service. Do we really need additional 4 judges at the time of this difficult situation of our country financially? Do we need additional ministers that he's talking about? Can't he just travel and put people there? You have Justice Ononuga his tenure been extended for 6 months. I mean, yes, if you look at Article 145(4), it gives a judge an opportunity to make his judgment within 6 months and then to complete some processes, but not a judge to be listening to witnesses within these 6 months. Unless you are going to use the 6 months to rush that judge into delivering injustice. And if you look at what's happening, see him sitting as an additional high court, sitting as an appeal court, additional appeal court judge, sitting as additional judge, Supreme Court judge, sitting as additional, and his own utterances in his own court, it takes doubt on the minds of the ordinary citizen that there's any good intention behind it. Especially when that person has stood on the ticket of MPP of a party. It becomes like you want to now even pack the court with a lot of partisan judges. And for me, when you do that, you now create our suspicion. You heighten our suspicion that, oh, probably all the other 3, in addition to this person, are being sent so that they can.
Staying in Parliament, Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu has expressed reservations about the increasing number of judges on the Supreme Court. According to him, John Mahama appointed only 28% of judges to the Supreme Court as president, but President Akufo-Addo has done a whopping 78%. In his opening remarks before the vetting, the Tamale South MP Haruna Iddrisu said too much appointment of apex court justices puts intense pressure on the public purse. Let's cross over to Parliament now. My colleague Jerry John O'Connor is there. Good afternoon to you, Jerry. What's happening in Parliament now?
I am within Parliament and I must confirm that 4 justice nominees of the Supreme Court are supposed to take their turn at the appointment committee. Currently, Justice Barbara Frances Ankayesu is taking her turn and a lot of questions are being put to her. She was asked to comment on the Supreme Court judgment that birth certificate is not a proof of citizenship. That question was posed to her by the minority leader, which was also asked by the First Deputy Speaker and the chairman of the appointment committee. She sent down the question and said she will not comment on the judgment until she is approved by Parliament because she is going to be a judge at the Supreme Court. So until she is approved by Parliament, she will not be able to answer that question. So the question was also another question was also put to her by the former Deputy Interior Minister, James Agaga, who asked her whether he's worried about the fact that President Akufo-Addo is packing the courts and the perception that he's packing the courts for political reasons. And she said the courts can only be, judges can only be appointed to the courts if there is a vacancy. Now, the issue of confidence in the judiciary was put to her by another MP, with specific reference to the Afrobarometer survey, which says that only 16% of the Ghanaian population trust the judiciary, and about 84% of the Ghanaian population does not have confidence in the judiciary. Her answer was that he does not think that the findings from the Afrobarometer survey is accurate, and that a lot more scientific ways of determining the confidence of the judiciary is needed. So those are the interactions that is ongoing. Her view was also found on the capital punishment and whether or not, in the situation where her personal faith, morality, and conviction is against the law, what will be her judgment? And she said she will always want to refer to the law depending on the matter before her. So those are issues that have come up so far.
Yeah, Jerry, are the minority members there? Are they present at the meeting?
Yes, minority is fully present.
Right.
Minority is fully present. Minority that himself is present at the vetting committee. The vetting is ongoing, and I'm monitoring whatever come up with the viewers.
Jerry John O'Connor, thank you very much. The vetting of NDC regional executives has begun. It was a very competitive atmosphere as candidates had high expectations of winning. Some candidates had some thoughts to share. Let's listen.
I came in at a time that the fortunes of the party within the region has gone very, very, very low. And I took the decision to come back to ensure that we are able to do what we are expected to do as a region. And through my effective leadership, we were able to achieve that in the last elections. In fact, of all the 16 regions, our region was very proactive in everything, because I believe that when it comes to elections, it's about proactiveness, it's about the call to duty, and to ensure that you have effective organization. And with a strong secretariat, that is the way to go.
What I'm bringing on board, my story is just like that of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Hadn't been when he left office, upon all the false allegations leveled against him, if the president of the day had performed well, people wouldn't have been yearning for his coming back. The same applies to me. The fact that you see I'm coming back, it shows how the current or the sitting secretary is not living up to expectation. Unlike now, what I'm bringing on board is we need a unifier.
October is Customer Service Month for Jospong Group, and as part of the celebrations, Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is joining us in the studio to speak about its operations. George Akama is Director of Business Development and Marketing. Hello, good afternoon to you, George. Tell us about the Cosmopolitan Health Insurance and what you have for your
Thank
clients.
you for having me. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is an indigenous, health insurance service provider, which has been in the industry since 2014, and we've grown through leaps and bounds to be one of the preferred health insurance service providers. Currently, we have about 30,000 lives, under coverage, and we belong to the Jospong Group of companies, and under the distinguished leadership of, Dr. Sian Ejipon. So basically, that is a bit about Cosmopolitan Health. Yeah.
So tell me, why should I choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance?
Well, Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, first and foremost, as an institution that really appreciates, the value of the customer. We always seek to, go beyond the bounds to exceed the expectations of the customer. We also try to ensure that the needs of the customers are, every time identified and met timely. And one key thing is about turnaround time. You know, we always ensure that it is short.
So I'm not going to face any challenges?
No challenges whatsoever.
Who are your major clients?
All the 31 companies of the Just One Group. We have the FBN Bank, we have the BSIS Bank, and then we have a couple of oil marketing companies, the Marshall Oil, and many of them.
And how do you excite your customers?
Well, as I indicated, we ensure that at any point in time we exceed their expectations. Everybody in Cosmo is obsessed about the value of the customer. We ensure that we identify what would please the customer. Right. If the customer wants A, we give the customer B. For example, you know, we show and appreciate, you know, them. A typical example is that we actually do not actually, you know, wait for them to actually even ask. You know, we go beyond, you know, we delight them. You know, they ask one, we give them two. They ask two, we give them four. Are you
sure you're not saying all of this because you're on camera?
You know, several testimonies are there, and you can actually check.
Right, I definitely will check. Yes. But what are your final comments? Anything else you'd want to say before you leave?
Yes, you know, our health is important to all of us, you know, including myself. And for that matter, we need not gamble with it. Everybody must ensure that they protect their health, you know, by taking a health insurance that is quality, that is cosmopolitan, a health insurance that will be reliable. You don't know tomorrow.
That's right.
And so anybody viewing me now without health insurance should call Cosmopolitan as soon as possible. And the corporate institutions that are with other organizations, I urge them all to join us to enjoy, you know, the high quality, you know, satisfaction that others are also enjoying. And those without health insurance, some of them, I mean, for health cost considerations, you know, think that, you know, it's expensive. We have packages for them. Right. We will tailor solutions to suit, you know, their budget. So we welcome all of them.
George Akama, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to some other stories, the Operations Clean Your Frontage initiative continues in the Ayawaso Central constituency. Several shops around Malam, Atta, New Town and City Lights have been summoned after their drains were found to be heavily choked. Shadrach Odami Ejari is there and joins us live now. Well, we understand Shadrach is not ready now. Let's take a look at our breast cancer tip for today.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is proudly brought to you by Reflux Sanitary Pad and Baby Pull-Up Diaper and Give Us Floor and WC Cleaners.
During your cancer treatment, you will need to consider the different kinds of liquids that you may use for nourishment to quench your thirst or settle your stomach. They could be clear fluids or full liquids.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is proudly brought to you by Reflux Sanitary Pad and Baby Pull-Up Diaper and Give Us Floor and WC Cleaners.
You're still watching Newsbeat. Up next is Business with Winston Taki.
All right, it's time to bring you business. The Ghana cedi has been adjudged as the worst performing currency. These and more after this. And now to our fourth business story. Ghana cedi slumped to the world's worst performing currency to the dollar as it depreciates by 2%, taking its losses this year to 45.1%. This was in the latest release by Bloomberg Analytics.
Ghana's cedi slumped to the world's worst performing currency to the dollar as wait-and-see investors continued to squeeze foreign capital into the West African country before its deal with the International Monetary Fund. The currency of the world's second biggest cocoa producer depreciated 2% on Monday to 11.2625 per dollar, taking its losses this year to 45.1%, the most among 148 currencies tracked by Bloomberg. The currency that derived its name from Cedi, the local Akan language name for cowrie shell, switched position with the Sri Lankan rupee, which is now the second worst performer with a 44.7% drop to the greenback this year. Ghana started engaging with the IMF in July 2020, but only began formal negotiations for an extended credit facility program with the lender last month. The country is hoping to receive up to $3 billion in loans over 3 years under the arrangement to spur its finances and support the balance of payments. Ghana reversed course to seek IMF help after homegrown policies, including cutting 2022 discretionary expenditure up to 30%, failed to stem a sell-off in its international bonds. The premium investors' demand over U.S. Treasuries to hold Ghana debt has widened to 2,669 basis points.
According to a 2021 survey conducted by the UN Development Programme, around 70% of Ghanaians do not have access to insurance of any kind. However, the general manager in charge of finance at SIC Insurance Limited, Kenneth Akolache, believes the current economic challenges provide leverage for individuals and businesses to insure their assets. He spoke on the sidelines of the Ghana Accountancy and Finance Wars in Accra.
Insurers often characterize themselves as the economy's financial first responders, helping policyholders respond to and recover from some of the most challenging times in their lives by paying to their repair or replace damaged properties and cover their liabilities.
It's not been easy, but without insurance too, a lot of things will come to a standstill where if there is a loss you are experiencing it because of the various products that we bring onto the market. Some of these things, you have products that are able to enable you hold on to the shock, if I may say so. So it's not been easy, but we are still selling. People are still doing great. People are buying insurance, especially the big risk within the country are all doing well to make sure that they have protected their assets, to ensure that in case of any problem, at least they have a backup of an insurance company to help them. And in addition to that, with our reinsurance arrangement, it helps us to be able to take care of these institutions when the need arises. Let me just put it like that.
Insurers have become increasingly dependent on emerging technologies and data sources to drive efficiency, enhance cybersecurity, and expand organization-wide capabilities.
We are still trying to manage the shock. You are now changing, trying to come up with making insurance a little bit more accessible, flexible for people to pay because of the crunch that we find ourselves in. So it's been tight. It's also the regulatory challenge where you are not supposed to give credit. So we have to be very innovative and come up with arrangements that can suit the needs of such institutions or individuals.
Now, a bag of cement is expected to go up by 10 Ghana cedis as the cedi depreciation has caused a rise in the price of raw materials and a subsequent increase in the cost of production.
The price of cement keeps soaring as Ghanaians are expected to pay more for the product. A 50-kilogram bag of cement will sell at 80 Ghana cedis. As manufacturers in the country said, they have been forced to increase their prices due to the free fall of the cedi against major foreign currencies. The country's cement producers are hoping this will offset some of the cost of transporting the cement to other parts of Ghana. This comes on the back of a rise in production costs due not only to the increase in fuel prices affecting transportation costs, but also a recent depreciation of the Ghana cedi. The Ghana cedi is currently selling at 12.10 Ghana cedi at some forex bureaus, taking its losses this year to 45.1%. These challenges have been further compounded by supply issues for raw materials like clinker, which is mostly imported for the manufacture of cement products. Port fees have also risen, leaving cement producers with no choice but to pass some of the cost onto the consumer. The development may impact the prices of houses in the short term and the personal budget of many individuals who are currently putting up houses in the country. It could also affect the cost of ongoing construction projects.
That'll be all for business here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki. Sports will be back after this break. Stay tuned.
Well, it's 50 past midday in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. My name is Phil John Quartin. It's time for sports. The 66th edition of the prestigious Ballon d'Or was staged yesterday in the French capital, Paris. Sadio Mane, who plays for Bayern Munich, won the Socrative Award, while the main award stayed in Paris. It was won by French international Karim Benzema.
Wir haben eine fantastische Nacht vor uns. Ja, jetzt ist es Zeit für den Sokrates-Pokal. Es geht um das soziale Engagement der Spieler außerhalb des ersten Sokrates Awards. Sadio Mane.
The winner of the Socrates Awards goes to Sadio Mane, a Senegalese star.
Der Senegalese.
A message before from Prince Albert of Monaco, and tribute to Socrates. Quite a year for Mane.
Und ja, ein großes Jahr für Sadio Mane, afrikanischer Meister.
First of all, I want to say good evening, everybody. Well, I think you said it a lot, so myself, I'm really happy to be part of you guys tonight, and of course, like we said, I'm sometimes a bit shy to talk about it, but I'm really happy to do what I can for our people and to make maybe things better.
De suspense. Bon, ben, le vainqueur du Ballon d'Or 2022, et je suis ravi de cette récompense. C'est pour toi, Karim Benzema.
It is indeed Karim Benzema, the fifth Frenchman to win the Ballon d'Or, first since Zidane in Madrid. Back in the French team as well. Well, there you have it. As Carlo Ancelotti said, Karim Benzema just seems to keep getting better with age.
De gamin, d'enfant, je pense que tous les footballeurs vont voir. C'est difficile d'aller le...
Madrid striker Karim Benzema quite excited after winning his first Ballon d'Or yesterday held in his native country of France. Let's focus on the EPL now because Week 11 will start today. Let's bring you the fixtures on your screens because Brighton will be at Amex to play against Nottingham Forest. Crystal Palace will welcome Wales. Bournemouth to see whether they can break the charts from St. Mary's. We're talking about Southampton. Arsenal, who are on top of the league, cannot play against Manchester City. That game has been postponed. Liverpool, who managed to stop City, will welcome West Ham from London, whilst at St. James Park, even Newcastle playing against Everton. Then Week 11 will wrap up on Thursday with Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. They will take on Leeds United. Brendan Rodgers, a lot will depend on whether he will survive as a coach or head manager of Leicester City. Well, that's your midday sports. My name is Phil John Quartet. Desi is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you very much, Phil. After the break, we'll be talking about episode's latest project. My name is Desmond Okreko. So now, Ghanaian reggae dancer musician Episode has released the track list for his upcoming project titled The Atia Archive EP, which is a collection of different renditions of his popular song, Atia.
The Atia song, released by Episode some months ago, has received massive airplay on radio and